Our beloved 8% Hard AF Seltzer is now live in over 2,500 locations across the United States. We're now available in Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, North Carolina, Ohio, Idaho, Illinois, Michigan, Montana, Oregon, and Texas. Go to hardafseltzer.com today, click on the store locator, enter your city or zip, and find the nearest location closest to you. Welcome to Drinking Bros, presented by GhostBed.com. Yeah, welcome to Drinkin' Bros, kids. It's the old Friday afternoon show where we're boozing all day, drinking hard AF seltzers, having some fun, having some laughs. But what we realized on the show, D'Anthony, was that it is Black History Month, and we haven't had a black guy on the show yet.
Yeah.
So welcome to the show, Maj Toure. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are y'all, man? That's a hell of an intro. That's 1,000% a hell.
I give it my all every single time because, obviously you founded Black Guns Matter. I've got Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and then you at number 2 there, just right underneath him.
Where's Medgar Evers in that?
19.
You don't know who he is?
I sure do.
No, you don't.
I do.
Who is he?
I was a very big black activist. Helped get the Civil Rights Act passed in 1964.
No, he was dead before then.
Was he?
Yeah.
Don't know anything about him.
Brown v. Board of Education. He was one of the primary
did he? Was he brown or was he the Board of Education?
Neither.
Okay,
actually.
great.
He was
Great.
He was black.
Yeah, and again, Maj, that's the history part of this, which is why you're here today. So teach us your black ways, my friend.
Being armed, being a safe and responsible gun owner, being a constitutionalist, being a libertarian. I'm telling y'all now, I said this years ago when we started BGM. I said, we're going to make the black community the largest gun buying demographic in America. And within 3 years, we did that. And we only spent like $300,000 to do it. Now I'm telling you again, we're going to make most of Black America libertarian. I'm just putting it, I want to chronicle it now.
Okay.
Because it's going to happen by the next election cycle. So just get ready for that.
I mean, if any group of fucking people ever should be libertarian, it should be Black Americans. Jesus Christ, dude. They've been butt-fucked so much. Like, forget about even up to the Jim Crow stuff, but the way that the left has pretended to help them for the last 60 years. Has been more damaging than even that shit before. Yeah,
and as a black man, in all sincerity, why has it always been Democrat? Like, I don't really get.
Yeah, we asked people like the Hodge twins about this too, and they say it's just like deeply cultural, and there's no way to get around.
No, that's what the Hodge twins told us. Yeah,
it's not. They halfway got it right because they're like mulattoes, so they halfway get it.
I don't think you can say mulatto anymore.
Yeah, no, you can't.
Is that against?
I do say colored. So if you could say,
he says colored.
Yeah, so I guess we're moving. We're like
I think you're fine.
We're in a post-racial drinking bros now.
Yeah, I think you're fine. You can say everything now.
It wasn't just because black people were like, hey, we're just picking Democrats. LBJ, and there's always some skepticism around that whole thing. I'll have them voting, Democrat for 200 years. There's skepticism of whether it was said in the White House, where it was said, but it's just good marketing. The Democrats understand better marketing. I mean, you kind of got to market really, really good if you are the party that is in an association heavily with, hey, maybe we were the creation of the Ku Klux Klan. Hey, maybe we were the guys that really, really, really wanted this whole slavery thing popping. Hey, maybe when the Republican Party was created, we and black people started going in that direction. Maybe we terrorized, like the lily white conservative movement. Maybe because in conjunction with doing the work of the Democrats, maybe if your history is that bad, you got to get real good at PR. The left just understands PR a lot better. A lot of times you have to understand PR better when you don't have substance, right? It's like, of course you got to be flashy. Of course you got to have art and entertainment when the policy and the legislation is 1,000% trash. But I give the Democratic Party and the Democrat movement, they get Democrats their kudos, their PR game as well. And the right, as we were just talking about, the right on the other show doesn't, they don't tell their story fully. Like, okay, so when was the last, the last time, or one of the last times I was at CPAC, I was on right before then President Trump during his first term. And my presentation was on Frederick Douglass. Frederick Douglass is the top tier Hall of Fame, best example of a conservative that you will ever hear of. But the Republicans never tell his story, really. When we're talking about, like, when motherfuckers say pull yourself up by the bootstraps, dude was captive, right? He escapes captivity, right? He starts going on like an American tour about, yo, I was a slave and I was like, fuck my slave masters. I taught myself to read along with a few other people, da-da-da-da. And it becomes so impactful that other people are like, bro, you wasn't no fucking slave. You speak too well, you read too well, you wouldn't be this loud. It was almost unheard of. So much so that the folks started looking for him. Then he flees to go to fucking like Europe, still talking that shit about the ills of slavery, gets respect from Brown and all of those other different folks, right? Becomes the abolitionist. Then started a newspaper. Him and his homies sell enough newspapers to buy his freedom and then come back to America and like lives his life out in a goddamn mansion. Like, if that is not the story of perseverance in the face of all odds, mind you, his first wife was black, his second wife was white at that time, but conservatives never tell his story. So on one hand, you got the Democrats that are great at PR, and then you got the right that just isn't telling these stories. And if you told that story, and if you told it in a Democratic-ran city and told it to young people in high school in social studies or civics class, those people would shift the whole, the narrative would get framed. But the reason why, and this is may sound controversial, the reason why I believe that they don't tell the story is because they benefit from the uni-party games. They benefit from looking like you're fighting against the left. But if we actually solve this problem, then the money train stops. It wasn't just leftists getting all that fucking money from USAID.
No,
it wasn't. And, you know, in regards to Frederick Douglass, first of all, I blame Lin-Manuel Miranda. He could have picked him, and it didn't. And I thought that was fucked up. If Frederick Douglass was rapping on Broadway, we would probably know a little bit more about him.
I think if Frederick Douglass was alive today and he saw somebody rapping, he might slap him in the face, just like an old man would, though, right?
Yeah.
Not like super disrespectful.
If Frederick Douglass was alive, there would be no Democrat Party.
Do you think it would all be libertarian?
Huh?
You think it'd all be libertarian?
Nah, I think the need for a libertarian party, that the idea that Nolan created in the early 70s, and those early founders of the Libertarian Party, there would not have even been a need for it, because the framers were, I mean, they weren't libertarians by like the party, but what they were doing was I had somebody, it might have been Elijah, it was somebody, he said something really retarded, and I'm. You know, I love everybody as much as they allow me to love them. But Elijah said some stupid shit here and there, and one of that was one of them. When I said, you know, limited government is conservatism politically. The founders wanted very small amounts of government, right? It's like when I'm trying to, if I'm going on a date and I want to look shredded, the night before, I don't drink often, but the night before I might drink because it's a diuretic, right? And I'll look absolutely shredded if I don't eat a lot that day. And I think I'm going to take her down. If I peel this shirt off and my abs are looking really, really fucking good, I take a little bit of that drink, right? So if taking a little bit of that, they just don't know how to take a little bit of that truth and package it properly. So they say something stupid and it makes the job more difficult. So if you say the government understands, the founders knew that limited government was a thing, and then somebody says, that's not conservative, that's libertarian. That's because there's such a thorough overlap between limited government, like libertarians want that, and conservatives are also supposed to want that politically, that crossover is there. But if the general public doesn't even understand that, then they think that this is a new concept.
It's such a better story too. This guy who through abject suffering arrived at like, this is probably the best idea to keep government as small as possible. That's better than fucking converting somebody today even. You know what I mean?
Right. And so these are the stories that we just got to tell more. This is why we started talking more on like our civics classes. Like, okay, we travel around the country for 8 years now. We teaching people about firearms, but then these threads start showing up, right? Like somebody will go, you know, what do you mean by the letter like 2A? You're typing 2A a lot. And this was a friend of mine. And I'm like, oh, that's short for the Second Amendment, right? Or you teach a class and they're like, well, what are the other amendments? Or what are the other, like the public school system has done an amazing job at fucking the mind of young people up. No American history. And that does not mean I'm saying they got to be whitewashed. They got to be blackwashed. It's just not there. So when you see these threads, you start to add more lessons. That's why we teach a civics class. And so if you just introduce these concepts and said it the right way, instead of just like pandering, tell the whole fucking truth. The founders were dudes that was fucked up with some of the like, we not fucking with this King George shit. Like, dude's a dickhead. We over here now. He won't even let us expand a little bit westward after we told him you taxing us too much without representation. So we like, yo, we just gonna do our own thing. Then he's like, the fuck you are. So like, when you tell the story the right way, everybody will be Republican. The Constitution says every government, locally and state, will be a Republican form of government. All you got to do is tell a story right, but the right doesn't tell a story right. They're doing something else because they gain a benefit. It's like wrestling. The Hulk and the Iron Sheik were never supposed to fucking be seen with each other. You are mortal enemies. What the fuck? And then I see you guys together hanging out, driving to the WWF thing. It's and they're not interested in, and I challenge them. If I'm wrong, I wasn't invited back to CPAC after I had put together the best platform ever. And I know Matt Schlatt, and there's a whole new regime over there at CPAC. But my point in saying that is, if actual limited government conservatives could 1,000% beat the shit out of the Democrats into non-existence if they told the story fully. It's just like everybody's, well, they'll never be. That's why more black people will be libertarian. Yeah. They'll never be a successful third party. Well, motherfucker, the Republicans were a third party. You're not talking about the fucking Whig party.
They were a third party that cannibalized the party that they challenged from the right? So, and I think there's probably something to what you're saying about they want to participate in the uni-party stuff. Like, I don't know that it benefits Coke that Pepsi goes away, frankly, right?
Yeah.
Certainly you want to be a category of one if you can. You want to be Nike, but I don't think you want to be Nike without Reebok and Under Armour necessarily.
And Adidas, right? And all that other stuff.
Like, think about just a couple of years ago, Elon Musk put all the patents for every fucking battery that he makes for Tesla on the internet for free because he wanted to create competition in the market because he's not fucking stupid.
But he also owns the charging stations.
Forget about all that.
But it's
forget about all that. That's not even the point. The point is that to get public buy-in and additional infrastructure for your idea, other people have to also be doing it. That's the only way that it works. And the Republicans benefit from this shit. So I think they let the left do the propaganda stuff, frankly, because that gives them the opportunity to bitch about it, you know, and fundraise off of it. And it's what governments do. Like, think about just a couple of issues. The trans issue. Do you want a trans kid or a dead kid, right? They're trying to appeal to your emotions. Climate. You're not leaving a fucking world for your great-great-grandchildren. It's like, all right, man, can we just have a practical conversation about what the fuck's going on here and you stop trying to emotionally manipulate me? Because
and when that happens, here's the ping pong. And then they look so retarded on the left that some of you will come over here. But Batman or the Joker needs Batman. It happened in the movie when Heath Ledger played him. Fucking amazing, by the way. When he's like, I'm not going to kill you, Batman. I need you. Now, the question becomes, we're Gotham City. The destruction and back and forth fighting between Batman and the Joker is not good for the citizens of Gotham City. I am okay with certain things not being as much if the American people have their liberty, can be left alone, and we get back to constitutional values. But you can't do that if you're aspiring to be the empire. I don't want to be the empire. I just want to be the constitutional republic. I want, when, Pittsburgh was making a shitload of the world's steel, and our international policy was, we don't really fuck around too much with international policy. Now, if you come fuck with us, we're 1,000% gonna make your town a parking lot. I'm with that. But once you come fucking with us, or our interest, it's just turned into this weird thing. But to your point, to the question, I just think that both sides benefit, or a smaller group of the political so-called elite benefit from the back and forth wrestling, Batman Joker game, that I think they addicted to the crime and the drugs now. They're addicted to it. So it won't be, I have enough. And I'm Nancy Pelosi, even though I only make $200,000 a year, my net worth is 100 whatever million. They don't know how to just tap out and be like, all right, that's enough. Let the we fleeced the American people for so long. This is how it goes now. And I think that the right is complicit in that.
Yeah, I do too. And back to your point about the messaging. So I've said this on the show for years, where I think no one was aligned with the right messaging on the Republican Party, even if you take the votes for the confirmation hearings.
Yeah,
Democrats are staying in line. They're in lockstep. They're staying in line. Republicans, there's still some against Trump, even in the RFK votes. There was a couple who flipped. You got Cocaine Mitch and that other fucking dickhead who flipped over there. And it's like they still don't have that down. In regards to the USAID thing, yes, I think there's Republicans taking that as well. And I want those motherfuckers out of the party. Get them out all the way around. Throw them out of there. The Epstein list. Drop that. Whoever the fuck is on it on both sides, get them out of there, and let's start over fresh. And then let's go for better messaging. Now, I will say this. With this last election, everybody was in line. Everybody was in check as far as the Republicans go. They knew what they wanted to do. They executed a great game plan. And so far, within the first, 23 days, everything he said, he has delivered on in record speed. And now it's about getting these other fucking people out of the goddamn party who are the old heads, who Mitch McConnell and those guys who need to go away. And yes, they've got to get the messaging correct, because a lot of black voters did flip in this election and say, you know what, man, what the fuck has the Democratic Party ever done for me? And I think you're going to start to see more in that. And I think your prediction is going to come true in the next election cycle as well, where more and more will start to head towards the middle or even to the right.
I think they liked Trump, but they still don't understand republicanism as it is, right? Which is, I think that's the next stage, right? We talked earlier on Citizen about these funnels that people go through, right? You learn, you get introduced to some subject, and just like any other human being, you grow over time as you are presented with more knowledge and experience. That's how it's supposed to work. So now this is a unique opportunity in American history to not to realign. I don't think that's I don't like the way that sounds, because I don't think that's what we should be trying to do. We should be educating people to make the best possible choice for themselves, and the most people making the best possible choice, the best possible and well-informed choices for themselves will produce the best outcome for everybody. That's how it works. That's how life works. That's how everything works.
Yeah.
I don't think that anybody else, I don't think people understood why Trump was so okay, I can teach a civics class because I used to take tours in Philadelphia, the birthplace of America. The Marines was created. There's these things that I had a benefit from. So it helped with Black Guns Matter. It helped with explaining civics, Trump has a 40, maybe even 50-year hot streak of branding, right? I don't think that the Republicans are crafting people that can do that, but in alignment with constitutional understanding. The closest that I can see to it, that may not be the same boom and flare, and I don't think he's going to do it. He's a buddy of mine. I don't think Thomas Massie would do it. I think he would be perfect for it. Because he doesn't want to is a part of the reason why I think he should. Because he's I can't, it's like Ron Paul. Bro, I can't tell you how to live your life. Here's the Constitution. I'll give you some information, but da-da-da-da, right? And so I don't know if the Republicans are actually for lack of a better term, grooming the type of person to be in alignment with that next. Because, okay, Trump's done. Then what? Do we believe that the GOP are curating enough people, and even on a state level, or even prompting and getting ready the person that can say, okay, what was Trump doing outside of his 40 years of personal brand? What was Trump doing that was in alignment that people got down with? Okay, he was brash. Okay, he said yes. All of these libertarian ideas, sidebar, Trump doesn't get elected without libertarians this go around. He does not, right? Huge shouts to Angela McArdle, who was like, I'm going to invite him, right? And then he knew that it was not going to be the best, like, yay, room. I was there. It was not the yay room. It was like, that shit makes sense. We'll clap. This shit, fuck no, boo, right?
Right.
Freeing Ross, all of those different things. To your point, in 20, 30 days, boom, boom, boom. I don't know if Republicans in the GOP, because some of them are so entrenched in politics as usual, I don't think that they care to actually create or curate the person or get behind financially the person that can be the guy afterwards. I think it's a Rand Paul energy. I think it's a Thomas Massey energy. I don't know if they know how to do that or if they're even interested in curating that next person.
I believe in JD Vance. That's my dude, and I'm going to ride with him, and he takes every interview, every question, doesn't dodge anything, and he's also behind the scenes coaching these people on confirmation hearings and everything else, and I feel like they're grooming him to be the guy. In regards to Thomas Massey, we love him. He's one of our favorites, by the way. Yeah. But I think he's so smart that he's over the average American's head. Dead serious. Like, he's a brilliant, brilliant man. And I just
There's a reason that Ben Franklin was never our president, to be honest. And it wasn't just because of his age. It's because he could get up and orate in front of the Congress, but he could not talk to normal people. I can't imagine him having you know what he did with his retirement? He went and banged French royalty.
Right.
And did science projects. That was his retirement. You know what I mean?
But that also sounds like a blast.
Yeah, I mean, well, they're all old, so I guess I don't know if old French vaginas.
He was getting his
I know what old French vaginas feel like.
Yeah,
I know exactly what
like every other one, just like Ben Franklin said.
Yeah, Ben Franklin said exactly what they felt like.
Wait, what did he say?
He said they feel like every other vagina.
Really? In France?
No, he said old, young, it's all the same on the inside.
No shit. Bold B. Frank said that? I didn't know that.
Actual fucking quote.
God damn it, dude. What a fucking poon hound.
I agree with y'all in the sense of Thomas Massey. I selfishly just want to see him do it because I think it would be Ron Swanson energy that Trump is having, slash it right now to the umpth degree. Same thing with a Rand Paul. I think but then I go, holy shit, but the people of Kentucky would be left with who? Right. Right? And his ability to go, no. In Congress, here's no, and here's why no. I think that job is his until he doesn't want it in the state of Kentucky anymore, or to being, a representative for the state of Kentucky. I just fear that if we don't curate and cultivate younger people to get on board with this, like instead of getting the young people to only follow what Andrew Tate, right? And Tate says some things that I agree with, a lot of shit that I completely disagree with, right? But I understand the when the left or the representation of what it means to be a strong man has been fucking so weakened. I understand why young dudes is like, yo, I want to fuck with that, right? If we can find people that we can show that, this is a guy that you should be like. And I would put Massey in that, but Massey, to your point, he's literally an engineer. Like, and it's like, all right, bro. And it's also like a thankful job. Presidents age like fucking like 80 years and like 2 years, so there's a selfish part of me that wants to see a Rand Paul or a Thomas Massey or, to your point, a JD Vance. But now we're talking about the movement and the branding of the GOP. And that's where I think they get that shit wrong. Yeah. This is going to sound fucked up, right? But it's true. This is what the GOP needs. This is like the Dave Chappelle joke. The mostly white GOP needs a black leader.
Yes. Can I pitch you a ticket? I
1,000% would do it if the GOP was like, Maj, be our leader. Like, good.
Hang on. I'll pitch you my ticket. Here's my dream ticket for 28, all right? Because I think JD Vance is the dude. I had a chance to talk with Byron Donalds at the inauguration. He is very smart, very bright, and very well spoken. I think that is my personal dream team for 28. And I think if you put the two of them together, it would be dominance for the next 8 years. And that's just my personal pick.
And you I believe in taking shit away from my enemies, or opposition, because they're not my enemies. They're Americans. Like, they're just stupid right now, right? I take away your argument if, and this is the reason why I did the whole presentation on Frederick Douglass at CPAC, and very few people in the audience knew who Frederick Douglass was outside of the picture with him with the beard and the hair, right? I take your ability to call the Republican Party, it's not true historically, but your ability to call a Republican Party racist, Byron Donalds as the VP, I snatched that. I want to take everything from you, everything. And you might, then you, as the left, you have to say, oh, he's a coon or he's a sellout. Then you expose yourself as damn, bro, you calling a black dude the coon? Like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, they did it. They did it to homeboy and what's his nuts? That ran for governor of California. They called him the blackface of white supremacy. Right?
Yeah. Major. That's the homie too, Major Williams.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an odd position to take. And we're seeing, as far as leadership goes, we're seeing the difference now, and maybe in a way that we've never seen in American history, the difference between having and not having leadership, right?
Yeah.
In a very short period of time, it's become clear, the difference between those two things. It's not where it ends, obviously. Like, what happens when JD and Byron are gone, right? Like, our goal shouldn't be to continuously develop strong leaders, although it should be part of it. It should also be to make sure that people are smart enough to see what a strong leader looks like and choose them, right? Because people chose, probably not Biden, but people chose Obama. And Obama was a fucking nightmare for this country, right? In the same way that George W. Bush was a nightmare for it as well. Yeah. Those two guys are basically the same dude, from my perspective.
Do you know why Barack Obama is one of my favorite presidents of all time?
Tell me.
It's definitely not for legislative and fucking reasons. In hindsight, right? At that time, first, the audacity of hope, when I suspend my disbelief and I separate what he actually did, legislate, on a legal tip, or some would say unconstitutionally and unlegally tip, the story is dope. The story of no scandals as it relates to his wife, children, all of that. Symbolically, symbols are important. Symbolically, it showed a space where people from my demographic, black community, black America, could be like, yo, I could do that, right? It was almost like a joke. There'll never be a black president, right? Like Chris Rock had a movie about it, right? Yep. Head of State. But then it became real. But then it was like, holy shit, this junior fucking senator from, Chicago that has a background in community activism, he's going to do it. And I think all of America really believed that. I think they really lined up, white people, black people, everybody was like, fuck yeah, man. I like the idea of a post-racial society, like in theory, what that's supposed to mean, right? And I think people were believing it. And he campaigned on closing Gitmo, and he campaigned on this and that and that. And then it was 1,000% 180. And on top of that, it was fucking on top of that, oh yeah, I'm going to do this LGBTQ plus thing, by the way, right?
Yeah.
So the story of Obama and the idea that shifted that, it was a whole nother praxis. This is no longer a joke that you could aspire to be arguably the most powerful man in the universe, right? I like that part of the story. Now that's me separating it from that. But for those symbolic reasons, it destroyed this notion that America is still 1,000% racist. It killed that. It fucking killed that.
Yeah, it's disappointing that he fucked it up, though. I mean, to be honest. Especially, even if you're a Democrat, because Hillary Clinton had been trying to reform healthcare since the early 90s, right? Yeah. Like 94, I think is when it started, 93, 94. And the Affordable Care Act is the biggest piece of shit. I mean, all it does is like they just basically set up USAID domestically to fund fucking insurance companies and let everybody take their piece.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like our healthcare didn't get any better.
No.
It just got like they just got more money for it. It's like, damn, that was your big, and people still triumph that now. It's like, oh, this is a big accomplishment. Like, man, that fucking sucked, dude.
Right.
And you know, I had friends that worked for him too at the time. One of my friends was going to be his national women's director during his re-election campaign in 2012. And she quit because the Catholics called him and said, hey, we're not doing this fucking birth control shit. That's not going to be part of healthcare for us. And he gave them an exemption. And she was like, nah, fuck you. I'm out.
Interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
Like a lot of that happened actually. But those people who, you know, and look, this is why I think I wanted to turn this back around to the libertarian situation, because I don't know that the Libertarian Party as an organization really has any utility, but the Libertarian group, I guess you could call it a party, has quite a bit of utility. And we just saw it, right? Like Bobby Kennedy he's not even a part of this conversation. Ross Ulbricht's still in prison. I think the utility of the Libertarian Party is that everybody's on notice now that that's a large voting bloc, just like Latinos and black people, right? It's not a majority, but it's a fucking good bit of people. And if you don't capitulate to us to some degree, then you're not getting our vote this election cycle, and it can change the outcome of an election. That's a lot of power to wield.
That's what David Nolan initially said. This is why I'm always fucked up when even libertarians are like, no, it's the party. And I get it. They like bylaws and shit. And like, don't get me wrong. There's a time and a place, right? But even David Nolan was like, we're using the party to advance liberty. We are a movement.
Yeah, we got to start. Right? We got to stop running people for president. That's not. There's no fucking utility in that. Run libertarians for fucking state and local offices and shit like that, but use the national party to drive the conversation back towards liberty. Regardless, like if let's say somebody runs at 28 that's a Democrat. Let's say Josh Shapiro runs, right? And it looks like he's going to do pretty well. It's like, hey, what do you got for us? Right? Like, we don't like the way this shit's going. We want to be able to choose where our kids go to school. We want to be able to choose our own health care. You got to fucking promise to get rid of this shit.
Right. And if not, you don't get this. The Libertarian Party and movement reminds me of the 3% that actually bust their guns and you know what I mean?
Like the Tea Party people, yeah.
Yeah, everybody's not going to bust their gun. Like, it's just, that's standard. And I don't need everybody to bust their gun. First of all, everybody doesn't even have to go. We might only need 9 dudes for this particular situation, right? The Libertarian Party is kind of like that. And again, Angela, I can't thank her enough in her doing this. She masterfully was like, all right, boom, boom, boom. Let's do this. Let's try this. I don't need libertarians. While we're building this ground game and infrastructure that goes in the direction of liberty, we already got a blueprint. It's called the fucking Bill of Rights and the Constitution, right? And if the black dude that's the high school dropout from Philly, that's as urban as shit, that has shirts that say all gun control is racist, that can merge. If I'm saying this is literally the blueprint that limits fucking government, that defends your individual rights and cuts down on the size of government, and we're watching in real time Trump do libertarian-esque type of shit, right? If I'm telling you that, you should at least go fucking look into it for yourself. What starts to happen, because I ran in 2018 as a libertarian. So it's not me just saying this shit. I ran for city council to see how bad I would get my ass whipped, to see the process and see where I would fail and all of those different things. Now, if the libertarians continue to play king and or queen maker, while at the same time building this amazing ground game of libertarian, decentralized folks all around the country, and we shift the narrative or that Overton window towards the conversation around liberty, 2 things happen. One, when a motherfucker say, hey, maybe I should create an executive order to not mutilate children. And we go, okay, that's going to get challenged in the courts because main man can't move unilaterally, but I understand. At best, people expose themselves and go, wait a minute, so you want people to be fucking mutilating children? That's the minimal of it. And if that Overton window continues to shift, and because the left has done so much of the heavy lifting for us, then more regular people go, hold up. I was just gay and just wanted to like marry my like partner. I wasn't with all of the fucking like drag queen story time hour shit. Those people start to become on our side. And I'm agreeing with you that that's what makes the threat of the Libertarian Party in that space. We are 25 years away from so many Americans being alignment or even informed about the concept of liberty and the Constitution, because currently, unfortunately, like a vast majority of Americans can't even tell you the 3 branches of fucking government.
Yeah.
So like the educational component and the localized, decentralized revolution component is 1,000% where I think it's at.
I think we need heroes, right? Again, going back to the leadership thing, that's part of it. Somebody that's in charge that is capable just kind of makes everybody relax and start acting normally again. But having heroes, you know what I mean? Like George Washington's hero was Cincinnatus. Cincinnatus was emperor, or I'm sorry, he took he took a dictatorship, right? I've explained this on the show before, but in Rome, a dictatorship was a power handed out by the Senate most of the time until the empire restarted. But a dictatorship was like, you've got 6 months, rebuild the aqueducts, and nobody can tell you no. Yeah. If you need fucking whatever the fuck you need, I need you to go to Gaul and start a war and get supplies and bring it back because I'm fucking fixing these aqueducts. Then you got what you wanted, right? Cincinnatus took it, I think on 2 occasions, Bob, if I'm not mistaken, and gave it up within, the first one was in 10 days. He goes, I'm done, so I'm no more dictatorship. I'm going to go back to my fucking farm or whatever. Right. George, that's so when I'm ranking who the best presidents I've ever seen are, right? It's people who show up and do what the fuck they're supposed to do and then get the fuck out of my way, right?
Yeah.
There's only 3, in my opinion, that have ever done that. George Washington is one because he could have become king of America and he decided not to. Now, maybe he should have become king of America. I like kings sometimes better than a democracy, even in a constitutional republic, is kind of fucking stupid sometimes. But we'll save that for a later date. The second is Calvin Coolidge. Coolidge came in, served as president, did every fucking thing he said he was going to do, and it was like, I'm not even going to run for re-election. I'm out. Right. People ask him, like, hey, you going to run for re-election? He goes, no, I did everything I said I was going to do. I'm out. And the last one so far is, I've never seen anybody in my lifetime, not one president, not one. I don't want to hear about fucking Reagan. Reagan is as conservative as anybody you're going to meet. And if you just go pick some random Californian, that's how conservative Reagan is.
Well, he was from California.
Yeah, I know.
So yeah.
He's not. And to name the most conservative thing he did.
Boy,
was it the NFA? Was it canceling mental institutions?
No.
It was
raising taxes 5 out of the 8 years he was in office. Was it tripling the national debt?
People are going to get mad at this.
God.
He cut the National Guard troops in half and let that coke in here.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, I'm a big fan of cocaine.
Yeah, same
so I'm
here.
not gonna.
Huge fan of cocaine.
I'm not gonna argue about that. But Trump is the first president in my lifetime that said, "I'm gonna do this, this, and this," and he came in and immediately started doing shit.
Yeah.
Right. And some of it he had to be convinced to do. Right. Like he didn't know who Ross Ulbricht was 6 months ago.
No.
Yeah.
He had no idea who that human being was. Yeah. He probably had some feelings about Bobby Kennedy too. It's like, oh, that's just some crazy environmentalist wacko. Yeah. And then Bobby, he invited him into his office, like, hey, here's the stuff that's going on. And Trump being, and look, I've been very critical of him over the years. I thought his first presidency was a disaster, to be honest. But this time, Trump is taking it personally, which is what you should do. Like, if I'm going to lead you, you're my people. And if you fuck with them, you're fucking with me. That's got to be the attitude. And it hasn't been. Joe Biden didn't give 2 fucks what was happening.
Right.
So I didn't mind his first presidency. Like we were flourishing and
the economy
was
fine because we were in a stasis period. That's all that was. That none of the stuff that was supposed to get done in that first term got done because he thought he was going to have a second one. And that's what's happening now. Now he knows he doesn't have another one, so he's doing it all now.
Because Congress didn't do any of the shit to back him up.
But
on
that
the
should have been
he ran on and everything else.
Yeah, but fuck that. Like you.
Well, he knows now.
There's no guarantee of tomorrow, and this is a lesson for JD or whomever comes next. Right. You don't know that you're getting that extra 4. So you better get it done now. And if you do get it done now, pass it along. And if JD gets what he wants to get done from 29 to 33, let Byron run as president. Fuck off and go retire.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's the way this has got to fucking work.
Yeah. And,
in a weird way.
And he did say that, by the way, in that Fox interview. He said, look, I learned, man, in that first 4 years and then having the gap off right before the Super Bowl, he goes, I heard some good people, I heard some shitty people, and I thought things would work a little faster or like a business, and they didn't. And then you've been up there to the White House, right?
Yeah, I actually was there. The last time I was there was when Trump was in office. When he made that speech that I knew, as soon as I heard it, I was like, this shit is never getting on television. The one where he was like, African Americans built this nation. You built it. We all built it. We all built it. But you had such a special hand in building it. I left. I walked from the White House. I walked back to my hotel. And I was like, this shit is never going to get on television. It's never going to make it, right? Then I went to the bar. And I sat down. And by the time it took maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes to get to the hotel, and the bar in the hotel, they completely chopped and screwed that whole fucking speech. And I was like, damn, they move fast.
Yeah.
It was like, you know how they set you up with the question and they'll like take shit out of context. So I've been to the White House, but back to this, like, I think it was actually, I'm going to be easy when I say this because I know the economy and a lot of people lost jobs and businesses during 2020 to 24 that will never fucking come back. So I'm going to be easy when I say this, and I say this with the utmost respect. I think he low-key had to lose that second one. He didn't have to, but I think the cheat was in. They were phenomenal with their playbook. The lying about fucking COVID, bringing Fauci back from the fucking 80s grave of AIDS epidemic shit. Like, their chess game was phenomenal.
I agree.
Like,
I said the same thing on this show, yeah.
Right. The postmaster general to go around and make sure the mail was just enough fucked up to everybody magically. Like, everything was right as a chess player. I don't get mad when the opposing player makes good moves. I don't knock the board over. I just go, I got to play better. I think he learned from that. And I think that also when Biden and those guys got in and they were like, we have succeeded in getting the most decrepit, senile, weekend at Bernie's motherfucker ever in. We are Teflon. Even if Trump fucking comes back, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're Teflon. And they started getting lax. They became so bad at the job that, again, they did some of the heavy lifting for us. There were so many people, and I made this statement. I did an interview on Reason, right? And I said it because 2020 to 2022, I was in this RV traveling around the country saying, fuck those mask mandates and all that other shit. And I was just getting a pulse of people in hoods across America, Houston, fucking Tampa, like black communities. And I remember doing this interview and everybody laughed at me. I said, black people are going to save America from Joe Biden on the next presidential run. And everybody was like, get the fuck out of here, bro. Zach that was interviewing me, he snickered. And I remember my guy, Chad O. Jackson, he interviewed me. We did something together. And he was like, I was one of those people that was like, Democrats are so deeply entrenched in urban America, black America, it's never going to happen. But what they didn't factor in was the level of fucking people that were so fucking upset by the level of we don't give a fuck that Joe Biden and that administration did. And the level of homegirl is retarded. She was non-existent for 2 years. You did not see her. And it was just back to back to back shit on the American people. And they helped us. And I think Trump left it to them, to their own vices. They got all of the money. They fleeced. They made so much fucking money off the Ukraine so-called war. Don't even get me started on fucking Yemen, on Syria. They didn't even let the general public know that they were still there. And so there was so much money just gone that just went out of the economy that so many people was like, yo, fuck you, bro.
Yeah.
Maj, you've been on a ton of podcasts. You know, we got some sponsors that put this shit wagon on the air. God forbid I don't read those, then the lights go out in here. First and foremost is ghostbed.com/drinking bros. It's 50% off. All the way through President's Day weekend. You guys were talking about the presidents earlier. Well, look what they've done. Look what they've done for you. They've left it up through President's Day weekend. 50% off every single item in the entire store. Mattresses, sheets, pillows, adjustable bases, mattresses for RVs. They even got those little Gabby Petito Sprinter van mattresses. That's nice. But what I recommend if you're going to use the 50% off Drinkin' Bros promo code at checkout is the bundle packages. Pop those up, Bob. Those bundle packages are the best. You get the adjustable base, you get the mattress, you get the sheets, all of it. And then, a little ghost noise pops up, Bob, and says, hey, do you like that? Do you need any help there? You need any help, big guy? Do you need a little help with your order? And when you check out, you pop in that promo code Drinkin' Bros at checkout. You get 50% off, and then there's going to be a little box that says, hey, would you like to check this box and get it all stretched out? 36 months, 3 years, no interest as long as you have decent credit. Yes, I would love to do that. And if you do it with the bundle package, that way you get a whole brand new bedroom set for like $40, $45 a month, depending upon which package you choose. LoveGhostbed.com/Drinkin' Bros. Next up is one of our new partners here. This podcast is brought to you in part by Stash. Saving and investing can feel impossible, but with Stash, it's not just a reality, it's easy. Stash isn't just an investing app, it's a registered investment advisor that combines automated investing with dependable financial strategies to help you reach your goals faster. They'll provide you with personalized advice on what to invest in based on your goals, or if you just want to sit back and watch your money go to work, you can opt into their award-winning expert-managed portfolio that picks stocks for you. Stash has helped millions of Americans reach their financial goals and starts at just $3 per month. Don't let your savings sit around. Make it work harder for you. Go to get.stash.com/drinkinbros to see how you can receive $25 towards your first stock purchase and view important disclosures. That's get.stash.com/drinkinbros. Paid non-client endorsement, not responsible of all clients and not a guarantee. Investment advisory services offered by Stash Investments, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Investing involves risk. Offer is subject to T&Cs. Next up, we got firstform.com/drinkinbros. Dude, I didn't take my microfactors. God bless it. Tell them about the protein over there, and I'm going to grab a hard AF and wash down the microfactors. What? I don't want to hear it. I'm not working out today. Okay?
I could use some protein today. I haven't eaten yet. Got a late start in the day, and that's where First Form comes in handy because I've got level 1 protein bars here at my disposal. I've still got a little bit of work left to do in the day. And I don't have time to go have lunch because adults don't eat lunch typically, right?
I don't, dude. I've been telling you this for years. That part I've been telling you for years, dude.
Well, I don't know who's got the time, but certainly it helps to have high-quality protein around, and First Form always provides it.
Yes. Best in the biz. Is it weird that I'm pounding these microfactors with a hard AF seltzer?
No.
Okay.
No, it's not weird about that.
Okay, good. Tell them about the level 1 bars then while I pound these.
Well, my favorite is the chocolate peanut butter pretzel. But the one in front of you right there, the cookie dough, I like that one too, actually.
Bomb, dude. It's bomb.
Yeah. They don't last long around here.
They don't, especially the birthday cake ones. Fucking Delco. Delco and AJ Buckley took them all, I'm convinced.
Yeah, that's probably right. That's probably right.
And that's fine. You are who you are. You're a dirty little Philadelphia Steeler, dude, and I get it, dude. And I understand all of it. Big fan of their company. Their energy drinks are amazing. Liver Detox is probably saving Bob and I's life on a weekly basis here. All their products in the store are amazing. Go to firstform.com/drinkinbros today. Grab the microfactors. All these vitamins separated for you. Individual packages, 30 for 1 day for every single month of the thing. 1 day for 1 month for, you know the thing, dude. 30 days. Whatever, man. Packages in your mouth. Get it in you. All right? Partying. Go to firstform.com/drinkinbros. And First Form is spelled with a 1. That is 1STPHORM. Firstform.com/drinkinbros. And as always, free shipping on orders over $75. Love your company, Andy. Always a pleasure, my man. Last but not least here today, we got bioproteintech.com. Promo code Drinkin' Bros for $30 off your first order. Guys, if you're over 30, you're going to want to hear this. Every year after puberty, HGH, human growth hormone, the hormone responsible for workout recovery, performance, metabolism, and even sex drive. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Happy Valentine's Day, baby. Yeah. Oh, I'm still going. Yeah. Well, that drive starts to decline. Okay, the one that I just described, Dan. You know? It's maybe only 2 pumps in that
Sounds
drive.
rough.
Yeah. And now it's down to 2 pumps. So you're like, oh, yeah, disappointment. And that's going to happen. That's why you need bioprotein tech. Sometimes it's 50%, by the way, by the age of 35. Doesn't matter who you are, how hard you train, how good you eat. It's happening to all of us. That's where BioPro Plus comes in. BioPro Plus is the first of its kind non-synthetic alternative to prescription HGH growth hormone treatments. All the benefits of synthetic HGH without any of the needles, side effects, or doctor visits. Best part about it is it's fast, easy to use, and 100% safe. It's trusted by physicians since 2009. And its benefits can be felt in days instead of months. Guys who use BioPro Plus have experienced faster workout recovery, enhanced performance, metabolism, sexual function. It's for the gay listeners. Yeah. So I did the first one for straights, and then obviously the second one for gays out there. Okay. Even better mood and energy. So if you want to perform, look and feel better without all the risk of the big pharma synthetic stuff, head on over to bioproteintech.com. Use the promo code DRINKINBROS for $30 off your first order. You can click the link in the YouTube description or the audio description to get your beak wet.
I've always kind of tongue-in-cheek said that at least Republicans had the good sense to ignore black people. You know what I mean? Because it was always going to happen this way. You can only fuck people over for so long, even if it's a deeply entrenched part of their civilization and culture. And now, like, I'm very curious to see what the black vote especially is going to be like in 2026. With all the layers of this fucking corruption being peeled back. These people that have had to historically choose between food for themselves or food for their children, or whether to pay rent or buy medication and shit like this, thinking that the government is out there helping them and that's okay, we're going to pay taxes and people are going to help take care of us and all this other bullshit, only to find out that we're fucking using that money to start wars all over the fucking place or just going right into their fucking wallets. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I think there's the black community, for those of you that haven't grown up in it, is quite a bit different than the white in a lot of ways. One of the ways that it is the way they look at politicians. They expect a little bit of corruption, to be honest. Yeah. This has been my experience. I grew up in a black neighborhood. They expect a little bit of corruption, right? It's like, oh, that's just Ronnie. You know, he's going to take 20%. Maybe it's part of drug culture too, because it's like, oh, that's just the game. That's tax, dude. That's how I grew up. Like, you fucking leave some shit lying around and some of it goes missing. Like, well, that was my fault. That was because of me, right? Yeah. What are you going to do? But there's a fucking limit to that shit. Yeah. You can't rob people blind and watch them starve while you're fucking making $200 million off your $200,000 salary and continue to earn their loyalty. It's just not going to happen, man. So now it's just a matter of messaging. Like the messaging there has to be. This is where, like on the other show when we were talking, this is why I'm super critical of the messaging that certain. It's like, okay, Trump has been killing it, right? And then he's like, yo, you know what? He'll say something and I'm just like, just fucking leave that out, right? The messaging and it might be him just going like weird red herring, throwing you off the scent. It could be that, right? Why I get so worked up about the messaging from certain famous political pundits on the right is because I'm doing this work and getting people in these demographics to go, you know, okay, I'm open to hearing. If this shit ain't working, so I'm open to what you got. And then you'll hear somebody like Brandon Tatum, who I've been very critical of, this is my opinion, nobody else's, say some shit like Ahmaud Arbery deserved it. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, come on, bro. Like, no, don't do that. Because then the demographic that I'm genuinely doing outreach on, right?
When I say, hey, yo, check out my episode of Drinkin' Bros, and they go, oh, that shit was cool. Those dudes seem like cool dudes. Oh, they Republican, they Libertarian. What is they? They not Democrat. So, all right, I could relate to that dude. There is an honesty, there is an authenticity, and there's no bullshit. Most dudes are going to respect that. What you guys are not doing is going, all of black culture is 1,000% horrible, and that's why the blacks are in the suffering that they deserve. You're not using these fucking talking points in the messaging that makes it difficult, because then this person, like a Brandon Tatum, starts to look like the representation of what it means to be conservative and happen to be black. So the messaging is the key. Democrats do fucked up shit. But God, if they can't lie so well, and I'm not justifying the lying, I'm saying we have, if you are right of center, and if you tell American history properly, right? The right has all of the stuff going the right way. The problem with that is you don't flex your lying and PR muscles. And you don't have to be, great at storytelling. It's like, I can bench press 405. I don't have to prove it. I can get up for twice. I can get up there twice. However, if I'm telling somebody, hey, your nutrition is important, and drinking fucking water is important, and getting enough rest is important, and hydrating, these things, then I show them the 405 and they go, oh, okay, cool, right? If I show them that I got the 405 up and I'm just drinking eating all types of bullshit all the time, I set the wrong precedent from what it means to what this actually represents. The messaging, when you're doing it specifically for clicks and not for America to unify and win, that becomes very damaging. And I challenge GOP members and pundits that are right of center that have a large following. You might get mad at me for challenging you this way, but I challenge you to be a little bit more factual, a little bit more nuanced, and a little bit more responsible with the fuck what you say. And if you don't know what you're talking about, if you haven't, there's abolitionists were white too. Tell both of those stories. Tell that story about Frederick Douglass. And instead of saying shit like, well, my white ancestors died so your ancestors could have freedom. There's your fucking reparations right there. The way that messaging goes is fucking wrong. It's wrong. It's divisive. It's adversarial. I'll say it that way. Because that's not what happened. Those Americans decided to fight for what they thought was right. And white Americans and black Americans both decided to do that.
So what you're saying is you don't want me to send you our shirt that says white people ended slavery.
Yeah, you don't want that.
I'm definitely sending it to you, so I don't care if you want it or not.
We're going to send that to you. And I think if Trump got on TV today and he just said, look.
Just wearing that T-shirt.
So wearing that T-shirt said, I love all black people. I just wish the service was better at Popeyes. Like that would be, I wish it was faster. It was just, man, then we could really fix this country.
Do you think Trump complains about the McDonald's ice cream machine?
He has to. Right. And the service at Popeyes is always shit. We all know the Popeyes is better, but God damn it. Is that, I'm sorry, was that, we had a chirp going off over there? Was that,
yo,
I'm sorry.
Yep. No, that was fucking Dan. Dan grew up in a black fucking neighborhood. Dan's fucking fire extinguisher batteries are not fucking.
I never thought about, so that's on our soundboard. I never thought about that as a way to troll all of our black guests.
My God. Hit it one more time. Delco. Yep, there it is. There it is, Delco.
We're definitely doing, I never even thought about that.
Oh, boy. It's Black History Month.
1,000% need that shirt because.
Well, you got to send me the black one. What does it say?
Black Vigilante.
Black Vigilante, yeah. I'll wear that shit. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The conversation, even when it's initially like, what's that mean, right? Because there's a lot of my white followers that'll say, yo, Maj, I don't really know if I can wear the Black Guns Matter shirt. And I'm like, I'll send them screenshots of the conversations that they've had. Like, yo, this dude walked up to me. He happened to be black. He's like, yo, what the fuck does that mean? And I explained to him about the Second Amendment, the work that you do, da-da-da-da. It creates a conversation that is overdue. And 95% of the people walk away going like, oh, okay, I get it now. These are the conversations, like, again, Trump saying black, I don't think that he was saying it was only black people completely and no white people had anything to do with the building of America. I think that there's a small section of contrarians that no matter what you say, I love apples. Oh, so you fucking hate oranges.
Yeah.
Like those dudes are going to be there, right? But like generally, the general public, when you have that jarring thing and then those people go and it opens that conversation, you know, when I wear the white vigilante shirt and people go like, well, what is that? When somebody's white and they're telling me, oh, you just hate white people. And I say, yo, kiss my white ass. And then they start going like, and I start opening down to white being a class of people, like in like legalese, a certain class of people. Then we walk down that rabbit hole. My point in saying that is I'm all for opening the conversation. I just think that a lot of the pundits, not a lot, it's not actually not a lot, it's a few of the more popular ones. They have chosen, you know, the clicks and the Elon bucks and the views. They have chosen that more than a responsibility of strengthening Americans. And that does not mean that I'm saying you have to like treat Black, Spanish, Asian, white, anybody, people like they're less than. I'm not saying hit motherfuckers with the soft bigotry of low expectations or like you got to handle people with kid gloves. It's not what I'm saying. But when certain people are going out of their way to just get the low IQ following that they have to just tap in because they say some stupid shit, and I can prove it fast that that's not true, I just want you to be a little bit more responsible. And I'll land the plane here, like me personally, right? If I picked a side, right? If I went, I'm just going to focus on the racist practice of gun control and say that that's my racism speech, right? And I just rode off of that and just targeted the demographics that I live in and just spoke only for them. And then most of the work that we do is in leftist cities, Democrat, Philadelphia, New York, whatever, right? If I did that and my talking points were in alignment with that, my fame and my wealth would skyrocket. And I'm aware of that. And the inverse of that is if I just went all MAGA, all Republican, never highlight the bullshit that happens on the right, right? If I did that too, my fame and wealth would also skyrocket. That would be great for me individually. That would be highly fucking irresponsible on my part because, one, I know that that's not actually what America needs. America needs nuanced, layered, contextual, honest, respectful, civil dialogue that leans people into the conversation around their human rights as codified in the fucking Bill of Rights and Constitution. It will not get you fucking rich initially, though. It won't get the clicks.
No, and look, I think in 2013, it was probably the best example for me. It was April 9th. It was a song called Accidental Racist by Brad Paisley and LL Cool J that came out.
Rough, dude.
That ended and solved racism. Well, and I think if we had more people like that coming together to do country rap songs, I like the. I think it would be better for all of us.
This is something we used to say in the military. I like your motivation, but your strategy could use some adjustment. You know what I mean? I don't think when Paisley or I think LL Cool J said, if you forget about my gold chains, I'll forget about those iron chains. I'm not sure that was the message, really.
That resonated with me.
Yeah, well,
I got rid of all my iron chains. Like I stopped. I freed all of the slaves that because there was slaves that kind of. They were in the backyard. Nobody really knew I was in Georgia, and they were like way back in the woods. And I was just like, you know what? I just heard the Brad Paisley LL Cool J song. I'm gonna free them.
Yeah,
it's the equivalent of fucking what's the name? Kylie Jenner showing up.
Oh, the Pepsi commercial.
Yep. Ended terrorism.
Like, you know what, guys? This whole like fighting and terrorism and war shit, we're done.
Yep.
Kylie's showing up with the Pepsi. She has enough. She's Jesus with like multiplying the loads of fucking bread and Pepsi and fish, and this is done. Yeah. And that's what I mean, like the PR thing. You know, I'm a fan of Walter Williams over Thomas Sowell for that reason. And I'm biased because Walter E. Williams was from Philly, right?
Oh, I didn't even realize you were from Philadelphia, Maj.
No.
You never fucking talk about it.
Never.
Yeah, ever,
It's a little known fact.
I'm surprised you didn't have Eagles gear on all goddamn day today.
I was just about to say, if you guys did not know, there just was this game like last week where this team, the Philadelphia Eagles, won a hard-fought victory.
But you're not at the parade that is currently going on right now,
No.
and there's people eating horse shit off the streets.
Yeah,
Bro,
and sliding down
Philly-
poles is like a Diddy party over
It
there.
sure is.
Fucking Philly. Listen, love y'all, Philadelphia fans. I don't like during the regular season when Philadelphia fans are kind of like mild but still passionate. You might catch me at a bar where I know the security dude and I could get my gun in there, right? But like playoffs, Super Bowl, I'm nowhere near that shit. I'm nowhere near the fucking parades. It is
Good news.
absolute mayhem.
Good news. There was a shooting at the parade today.
Oh, was there really?
Was it?
No shit.
I'm shocked.
White or black?
There
Who
was a
it?
There was a shooting right after the game. Some dude standing in the crowd.
Yeah.
Oh no, that was after the NFC Championship game.
Yeah.
Some guy was just popping his Glock off in
In the air.
Yeah,
like
no,
it was,
this one he aimed it sideways.
oh, he did.
Yeah,
so he was black.
He didn't name it up in the sky.
Okay, gotcha.
well-
Anybody
He needs
dead?
he needs to take the Black Guns Matter class. If he
Yeah.
was popping in the air and turning it sideways, did somebody die at this shooting?
Yeah,
at the
Bob. Did anybody
parade?
die?
I don't believe so. It was 2 injured.
2 injured. Okay, so they weren't good at it.
I feel like
That's what you're saying?
so. There's in northeastern cities from DC all the way up to New York. There's always been something called the Sunday Truce. Are you familiar with this?
Yeah.
No
No.
gunfights on fucking Sunday. That's how it's supposed to be in the drug game, right?
Yeah.
And it's so because like it was a big part of culture to take grandma to church and all this other bullshit, right? Sunday
Yeah.
Truce went on
Yeah.
for years. I don't know if it's still a thing or not. Can there not be a fucking Super Bowl parade party truce? Because this is 2 years in a row.
No.
Celebrate the fucking victory and then shoot each other on Monday.
Yeah, shoot each other
Right,
the
like
day
at least get this
afterwards.
one day off.
God
Yeah,
damn it.
it's Valentine's Day too.
They're just horsing around.
For me, I don't want to deal with. I try to avoid law enforcement generally, especially if I'm carrying in a city. This is a disclaimer. This is my opinion. You know, it may not be everybody else's. I carry in cities that are anti-gun that you're not supposed to carry in. So I generally avoid law enforcement. I'm fighting a gun charge I'm going to fight it up to the Supreme Court right now in the state of Pennsylvania. So I try to avoid law enforcement because at a parade, they got a lot of fucking shit going on. And listen, a lot of people are like unnecessarily being dicks to some police officers. Sometimes police officers are unnecessarily dicks to Americans. So I just try to avoid it. I'm with those dudes in spirit. I think they fought very, very well. I think the halftime show was shit. I think he could have done better. I think that, I think the game, I'm not mad at the blowout. I'm from an Eagles fan, but I would have liked for the game to be maybe a little bit closer. I was a little shook because I'm scared of KC coming into the third fucking quarter of anything, right? But overall, man, I teach our students, if you feel like you probably will have to take your gun there, I probably wouldn't go there. And so I don't go to, and I don't even go into places that I know I can't get it. I don't know a level of security that can get me into where the Eagles play with my gun. So I just don't go.
I don't go to places typically where I can't carry my gun.
Yeah.
Not for like, I don't know. People say, what are you worried about? It's like, it's not about me, man. Like I don't trust anybody else's security but my own.
Right.
That's all
Right.
it is.
And so mine, I've got a small thing of Duke's mayo that I carry with me everywhere, and I don't trust anybody who says, "Hey, leave your Dukes outside."
Well, you know why? Because Hellman's
can't
is
bring
made
that in here.
Hellman's is made in Canada,
Yeah.
Is it?
which is that's
I'm a Dukes guy,
like,
dude.
Fuck off.
I'm
with
a
that.
Dukes guy through and through, but they're like, "Hey, put your Dukes up and then leave it outside," and I'm not amped about that because I like a little mayo on my Sammys.
I don't
and
like that.
do.
I'm not a
I
mayonnaise
do.
guy.
I am.
It's oil and egg whites whipped together. What the fuck is the point? And vinegar and salt. What is that? That's gross.
Do you know what this cultural divide between y'all with mayonnaise is? It's because, Dan, you grew up in a fucking black community.
That's
we
true.
don't fuck with mayonnaise like
Yeah,
that.
it's fucking gross.
That's true.
Culturally, you've been infected by that. Like, you probably, yeah, it's just what it is, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
So culturally, I'm black, which means I'm going to start saying it.
Yeah. Can he say the N-word then?
Hard R.
Because he grew up
Hey,
there?
He
No.
actually doesn't care. You're asking the wrong guy. He doesn't give a
You're
fuck.
free to say it.
Yeah.
My thought process on it is like, I don't give a fuck. Like, now, everybody else may not share my fucking ethos. And, it's like, bro, my white friends are most of my white friends are from North Philly where I grew up, right? They don't say it because they're like, yo, the intent behind that shit, certain people are triggered by it, and I know you not, and this person not, but they just kind of get like, they know that when they've heard some family member say it, it just comes from a fucked up place. And to a certain extent with me, intent matters, but I don't give a fuck about somebody's intent that's intending to try to hurt my feelings. Like I on a certain level, I'm so privileged and so fucking confident and so competent in my skill sets, the 5 that I have. You cannot hurt my feelings. Like you just, and again, I'm from Philly. Like my feelings low-key been dead inside for the things that aren't the things that I care about. So I just think that even that, like I don't like cracker. Like I'm just like, yo, bro, if my white homies that we have a trusted and true bond together with, and he knows the intent of when we're joking, all right, cool. I think that brings a certain level of camaraderie, right? However, I'm not saying like the slurs, and I'm a free speech absolutist. However, I tend to put how is this thing that I'm putting out there, right? Is there a way that I can make sure that this is in alignment with spreading this conversation in the direction of more conservative values and liberty-based values? And if that's tied into politics, because it should be and it is, if that's tied into politics, if I do a horrible representation of what it means to be a conservative or a member of the GOP or a libertarian, my overall goal is to get more people from out of the leftist mind hive, I have to be a good representation of it. And I do that across the board with, yo, bro, if you talking shit to me, I can fucking murder you. I have a sub 1 second. I can get the gun out and put fucking A's on. All I need is an 8.5 by 11. I can do that in under a second. You fucking can't, more than likely. And since you can't, I got to be the fucking adult in the room. And that's the representation of a gun owner that I want to represent. And so, to me, if I know the ethos and the feeling and the understanding and that person knows where I'm coming from, I do it. Yeah. It's not that I'm tiptoeing around words because I'm scared of your reaction. I'm just always on, am I being a representative of what I'm trying to get people to be a part of? And as it relates to politics and as it relates to gun ownership, which is my two, or even third, health and fitness. If somebody sees me eating consistently a bunch of bullshit, right? Outside of my fucking macros. And I have thousands of people across the country that are in our solutionary group, and we have to post up some of our meals. Are you comfortable with the people that you are responsible for? You, Maj, your followers. If you slip, they fucking fall. So for me, I just am like I'm just more on that. Like, I can't slip. If I don't wake up at 3:30 and I'm not posting on social media.
3:30 in the morning?
Yes.
That's fucking insane, dude.
Yeah,
you need a 5150 right now. I'm going to check you in a goddamn psych ward.
What are you, Black Jocko?
That's crazy.
Calling you Blocko, Black Jocko.
Yeah,
no,
dude, you're Blocko now.
1,000% the best shit in your life.
No, not one prayer on this earth,
I don't
dude.
care if I live 100 more years. I'm not waking up at 3:30.
No,
Bro,
I'm going to bed then.
In the morning is the best shit. Let me tell you why.
I agree on the other side of it. I'm usually up working at 3:30, so like I love it. I love 3:30 for the opposite reason, because I'm about to go to bed. And by the way, with my black friends, I don't care if they call me honky. I just want it firm and black, like real black. Honky! Honky!
Yeah.
And then I'm cool with it, like, but really drive it home. Don't give me a casual honky, like, oh, hey, what's up, honky? I want a hardcore black honky, and then I'm fine with it.
Wait, so y'all, okay, so let me tell y'all why y'all should try it. Try it for like a weekend. Try 3:30 in the morning for a weekend. You're up. So we have a Solutionary 9 group, right? There's 9 daily activities. It's a 1-day program that you choose to do every single day. You wake up, and then you said something that I thought was dope. At the foot of your bed, there's that thing that says, it's not about you, right? When I wake up as a solutionary.
Do you have that?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's on my dresser across from where I
Yeah.
sleep. The first thing I see when I sit up every morning
You've got a quote on the wall that says that?
It says it's not about you. Yeah.
Oh, mine is a quote from Abraham Lincoln that says, "I freed you." And so, yeah, we're different. It's totally fine. Like, he ended slavery, no big deal. But I wake up to that.
That 3:30 in the morning shit and that Solutionary 9 shit, where the first thing that I wake up, I think, I'm thankful for being alive, da-da-da-da. And I ask myself, am I going to be a solutionary today? Or am I going to be a sucker today? If I make that decision to say, like, if I'm on vacation, if I take a vacation, which I haven't in years, it's like, yo, I'm on some sucker shit today. I just want you to own that you on some sucker shit today. And just know that I'm going to drink crazy. I'm going to not work out. These 3 days or 2 days, I'm on this vacation. I'm on some sucker shit today, right? But if you want a solutionary tip today, you are going to work out. You are going to read a minimum of 18 pages, right? Which is 9 pages of individual reading. You pick the book of your choice. And 9 pages every month, we have a different book of the month for everybody that's in this group. You're going to spend at least 15 uninterrupted minutes with your friends and or family, right? Whichever one you fall in line with. You're going to track your macros. You are going to dry fire twice a day, 10 minutes, 5 in the morning, 5 in the evening. There are 9 daily activities that you have to do, that you have to accomplish on this thing that's in alignment with you being a more well-rounded person. The reason why you don't have to wake up at 3:30, but when you wake up before 5 o'clock a.m., I personally am up at 3:30. My gym is 24 hours. And I can be up and at the gym by 4:15 in the morning. I'm out and showered from the gym no later than 5:45, 6 o'clock.
That's insanity. What time do you go to bed then?
10 o'clock.
At night?
Now, if something happens, if I can get that 9:30 sleep, I'm with it. Now, here's the other part. Every single part of my day is planned out, right? Every single part. There's this. I'm gonna pull up my schedule, my clock right now. Right?
And hey, pull up the list of bodies of the people you killed, because this is some serial killer shit right now. You're a fucking serial killer, dude. And you're starting to scare me. You were going to be my favorite black during this month on Black History Month, and now this is crazy right now. Everything that's going on. Holy shit. Are you really showing the phone there so you do get up at 3:30 in the morning?
Yeah.
God damn, dude. That's nuts. Wow.
No.
So every single half hour of your day is planned out?
Generally half hour to hour. The beauty of this is if you get your workout in, if you get your reading and you get your meditation or prayer, some people call it prayer, that's 3 of the 9 things that you have to do. What I said, gym, prayer, dry fire, and reading. If I get those 4, I can get usually those 4 things out of the 9 that I have to do for the day done before 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. There is a certain level of there is a certain level of discipline, and it hurts every single morning to wake up at 3:30, especially when, the bed is warm and it's cold outside. But to Dan's right across from his bed, it's not about me. If the 1,000 people that are in my group, because that's what, and the people that follow me that I'm trying to get more people into, right?
Sure.
If they see me wake up at 7 o'clock, if they see me not be on top of it, if they see me talk, unless, like that week I was super sick, if they see me, I am their representative of it's okay to fuck over. And they're further down the rabbit or the totem pole in their level of discipline than I am. So if I give them an excuse to not be on top of that shit, it's almost like I'm not even just doing a disservice to me, I'm doing a disservice to them. And now, here's where it becomes selfish too. Bro, I gotta fundraise, I gotta sell merch, I gotta travel, I gotta instruct, I gotta do all of those things. I have to create the content. I don't have like this massive team of motherfuckers, right? So you got to get some of that internal work done and space it out and structure your life in such a way that you have those things are on like autopilot. It's no conversation. The alarm goes off. This is what you're fucking doing until the next alarm goes off. If I don't create some type of structure, and again, my military friends And my jail friends, both, they don't, and cops that are really, really regimented, they fit too. I don't think that they understand how much they're alike in the sense of that regimentation. So for me, 3:30 in the morning is quiet out. I can get to the gym. There's no traffic. There's this, that, and the third. And these things just help. And so it gives people, like, I'm going to give my guy Bearded Cyclops a shout out. He's been on the Solutionary 9 regiment. He was like 403 pounds, right? A few days ago, he told us in a group that he had lost 100 fucking pounds, bro, in less than a year.
Look, that's a lot, and I get it. However, your 9 and my 9 are totally different. I wake up, then it's usually reverse cowgirl. And then after that, I have some breakfast. I go back and I strangle bait, sometimes with a spotter, sometimes without a spotter. I do 2 key bumps after that. That's number 5. Really important. Then I go mimosa. A lot of champagne, splash of Simpson. Just a little bit of OJ in that fucker to really get my fucking genes going. You know what I'm saying? And then number 7 for me after that is reverse cowboy. So she straps up, and then I sit on her, and then I kind of ride her in the ass, and then I kind of jack myself off to completion, though, because obviously I want to get my day going. Yeah. Then I go down to the local grocery store, to the H-E-B. I buy 18 avocados evenly. And then I slice them open, and then I throw them in the street right in front of the store. Never eat them. I drive my truck over them to make sure they're all smashed in case they're starving Mexicans who need guacamole. After that, thank you. After that, I head on down to my local craft brewer. I tug on his beard, and I say, fuck you. You're not better than me just because you can make a 7.5% in a hazy IPA. I drink the entire thing in front of him, and then I have sex with his wife. Number 8, I go back to my wife, tell her about the sex that I had with his wife, what she was doing wrong in the morning, and then we switch it, and then I go in that position, and it's usually mish. Then I go to bed, and that's usually around 3:30 a.m. That completes my 9 or my 9 for my Spanish friends out there.
I've seen the light.
Thank you.
We will now implement several of these new 9. So we're going to go 13. We're going to go try to get 4 of those.
Thank you.
Into our solution. This is what compromise in America is all about.
It sure is. It's a push and a pull. It's a yin and a yang, my man. And we're both on the other side of that tug of war. And we're pulling each other together right in the middle. And I think we're going to meet sometime. And it's probably going to be right around that 11 a.m., maybe nooner hour there. Because I can't do the 3:30 shit. So,
Dan, what time do you normally wake up?
Whenever the sun wakes me up.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah. Typically. Okay. I mean, different on overcast days, yeah, but I have next to my bed on the right side, I have like wooden shutter blinds, basically, and I just open them up a little bit, and the sun hits it faces east, so the sun hits me right in the face and wakes me up.
Okay.
So for me,
because then I walk outside typically and stare at red light, like as the sun's coming over the horizon, that red light is what kind of gets you ready for the day. So I just let nature tell me when to wake up because I don't have nearly as rigid a schedule. If I did, I was in the military. I woke up at 4:30 for fucking years. I just don't. There's no utility in it for me. But if there was, I would. It's not that big a deal. Waking up, like I'm so far down that discipline rabbit hole at this point. I can do whatever the fuck I want to do. So I don't really focus too much on that stuff.
Mine is 7:14, by the way. Dead serious. 7:14 because the kids have to go to school at 7:20.
Makes sense.
Dead serious. Put my clothes on, drive them to school, and it takes me 6 minutes to brush my teeth, and then take the kids to school.
To me, I think I'll take a break on at 3:30 maybe. I think I definitely know. So we fundraise. So to folks that don't know, if you guys want to support, givesingo.com/solutionary. Every class that we've done in the last 8 years have been free to all because we want to remove the financial barrier to entry. Like if you don't have a gun, you don't have ammo, we'll pay for it. Like we'll have it. I'll bring guns. Other people will bring guns. We bring them to the rental, whatever. My point is, in person, whether that's in classroom or in the range, all of this happens. Our Stop the Bleed classes, our conflict resolution, all of the classes, if they're in person, have been free to all because of voluntary donation. So if anybody wants to support, givesingo.com/solutionary. We also have a $75,000 donor. The remaining a bit of the money is going towards buying our building. We have a location, the Solutionary Center in Philadelphia. a friend of mine is like, yo, when Trump won, he was like, yo, I was hesitant on the money tip. He's a real estate dude. And he's like, yo, you want to do another donor match? And I'm like, absolutely. He's like, well, how much you got left? And I'm like, yo, we need like $150,000 left. Now, let me rewind a bit. This didn't start with $1 million goal. When we started Black Guns Matter, it was one event. It was going to be one event. And so many people was like, yo, you should do this all over again. And so we were like, yo, wouldn't it be dope if we did 13 cities like the first 13 colonies? And we was like, yo, that's a dope idea. Let's fundraise for it and let's be voluntary. Whoever wants to donate. Our first budget, we've learned so much. We thought we could, and we did. We thought we could get 13 cities done with like 25 grand.
No, you can't.
But we did it. But it was a shoestring budget. And we were like, yo, we'll just cut budget and we'll drive to places. And it was the most stupid shit that we ever did. But we did it. And Phil from All That Remains was the last $400 donor that got us to our $25,000, right? And I was like, bet, we did it. And everybody was like, that's fucked up. You only went to big cities. There's people in small towns like ours that you didn't come to. So we just kept asking social media, yo, should we do it? And social media just kept telling us, yo, you got 100,000, keep going. Now you should do a redo of the cities and you should do every state in America. Then you should do, and it just kept going. And then when we were initially on GoFundMe, and GoFundMe did some fuck shit with the truckers' money when the truckers were opposing the jabs in Canada. And they like reallocated like $3 million. And we're like, we're not giving it to the truckers. We're going to choose the charities that we're going to give it to. And we were like, we can't be on GoFundMe anymore if they doing that commie shit. We can't do it. So then we started back from square one and at the time we had raised like a little over $500,000 or close to it. And everybody was like, yo, start on Give, Send, Go and make it $1 million, which means raise another $500,000. Every single step that we made, we just asked the people on social media and they just did it. And so saying all of that to say, over the last few years, we've raised and given away over $800,000 to do these classes. Not one person that has come to any of these classes on the Second Amendment about safe and responsible gun ownership, about stop the bleed, about all of the other shit. No one has paid one single dime because Americans just work together. No, we don't apply for any fucking grants because that's not our money. That's government money it's your money actually that the fucking government took that they just reallocate. And so we don't even apply for them. And so we got this donor that's like, yo, 75 grand. Cool. We are about $44,000 away from that. And we'll buy the building and we'll switch our model to it'll come off the merchandise sales. My point in saying all of that is this is what happens when the people just decide to say, we want to help the people and the people will help you. Is it a fucking struggle? Is it fucking hard? Absolutely. 1,000%. But I just like the people's lives that have been impacted positively by this. Like, I don't even know I'd probably just be selling weed. Like, I'd probably have a dispensary right now. I definitely know I'd have $10 million in cash by now, like whatever I was selling.
Sure.
However, like we are cited in the Bruen decision. Our work at Black Guns Matter was one of the deciding factors for the Bruen decision. Like, this makes this shit American history at this point. And so, if anybody gets any value from the show today and our conversation today, and we joke, we talk shit and all of that, but guys, please, if you're hearing this, when you watch it, donate to the work, man. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. You're paying it forward for somebody else. And it's just a matter of time that one of these people in these leftist cities, black, white, Spanish, whatever, they get on this gun shit, and it's very difficult for them to stay leftist because the thing that they like now, their politician is telling them you shouldn't have it. And it's a gateway drug. So again, guys, if anybody sees this that is touched by it, pause, please support and give what you can.
Absolutely. And one of the things you guys are doing here, and the internet's sometimes right, wrong. I don't understand AI and all the other stuff is, You're doing a George Floyd CPR class called I Can Breathe.
Yeah.
And I think
so there's
is that wrong? Is that
ABC?
Is that Grok? Is Grok wrong? Okay, so Grok is wrong. Okay, I didn't know. Look, it's Grok. It's not me. Okay, Maj, it's not me. This is Grok here. Bob, is this the updated one or no? Because I don't know. Shit. Sorry, that's my producer's fault. His parents owned slaves up until like a year ago. No. Welcome to Drinkin, Bros. Speaking of which,
wait, this might be the first black man we've ever made blush on the show.
Well, look at him, dude. You're welcome.
Look, you know what's the crazy shit? When I'm in the crib with the homies or, and I'll have somebody that'll joke or they'll be like, oh shit, I can't breathe. And I'll be like, my dark sense of humor, I'll be like, okay, fucking Eric Garner, like, relax, bro. And my homies are like, bro, that is so fucked up.
We've all got the same dark sense of humor, though. Like, that's it.
Would it be bad if you and I went for Halloween one year as Eric Garner and George Floyd?
Oh my God, dude.
Or not Eric Garner, George Floyd. I mean, Derek Chauvin.
Yeah, you're Chauvin. You have to shave your beard, though.
All right. So look, let me push back. Y'all might disagree with me on this. Dark humor aside, and I don't think that George Floyd was the paragon of fucking civilization that some people on the left have, packaged him to be, right? I still think Derek Chauvin is in jail and he should be in jail.
Yeah, so here's what my honest opinion on it was, and I think, Dan, you're the same. I think 5 years, somewhere in there.
I mean, I thought when they charged him with first degree and all that shit, or what was it, second degree?
The charges were too high.
Yeah, but they convicted him on it.
I thought he was going to walk on the high charges.
Yeah, he should have, to be honest, right? He should have gotten a lesser charge, but
once you watch the rest of the video, but
well, I mean, I don't know. In retrospect, it's hard to say. I've never been a cop. Like me
neither. I pretended to be one in bed.
Well, that's something altogether different.
Yeah, I've handcuffed a lot of women to fucking bedposts.
My experience wielding a gun is more on the kill side than the arrest side, right? Not more so, it's completely on that side.
And so on my side, as a civilian, it's more like I carry mine as more of a break yourself, fool. Yeah. And that's kind of how I live my life. What? Maj, that's how I live my life, and it's worked out for me. I'm 34 years old. Next week.
It makes sense.
Thank you.
I just think that in certain scenarios, police officers have chaotic situations, no doubt. I'll extend that olive branch. I think that it's overhyped, like every day your life is on the line. I know friends that's cops, and that's fucking not true. And I'm not talking about they work down pushing paperwork just at the precinct. In a car, all the fucking time, you're still pushing paperwork by and large. Now, do I think he was overcharged? You hit me with a murder one charge. I need you to prove intent.
Yeah.
Do I think that he was like, you know what? As soon as I see fucking George, I'm going to fucking choke him to death. I don't think that that's what the fuck happened. However, if I inadvertently choke, let's say gun, I shoot someone inadvertently, I am responsible. That's why there's a thing called involuntary manslaughter.
Right. I think that's what the charge should have been.
Now, I think they overcharged, and I was like, I think they did the same thing with George Zimmerman. I think they overcharged being zealous, and a good attorney goes, they have failed to prove intent to kill.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be the same thing. I thought it was going to be more riots, whatever the fuck, right? It wasn't. Cool. Do I think that Chauvin should be in jail for as long as he is? No, I don't. Do I think that he was irresponsible in his duty of, if this motherfucker say, he need him, get him in the wagon, get him to the fucking hospital. If he dies in the fucking hospital because he swallowed Fetty Wap, I don't give a shit. I did my part. I got him to the hospital. That's it. Yeah. And so that standard is one of those nuanced standards. I'm not like pleasing everybody, because the super pro-black room that I'm in goes, he should be in jail forever. I'm like, well, objectively, I don't think so. And the people that are like, back to blue no matter what, are like, Maj, you just fucking hate cops. I'm like, no, there is a standard. And so I'm in between on that. But no, we don't have, that's Grok and it's fake. We don't have the George Floyd I'm going to show you how to breathe, stop the bleed, CPR class.
I'm going to have Bob correct that then.
Yeah.
This is the wrong update
And I'm going to
here.
start teaching it myself.
Yeah, he's going to get a black dummy, like a CPR doll, and he's going to, He's going to help the dolls breathe. And like, we don't have a white man doing that. Going back to Brad Paisley and LL Cool J, I think we all got to work together over here.
Maybe I'll get an LL Cool J doll.
Exactly, dude.
They probably exist in Japan, to be honest.
They sure do.
Those people are fucking weird.
If you guys have not been canceled thus far,
it is never gonna.
There is no way that you guys will ever fucking be canceled ever.
I have a question, actually.
Yeah, go ahead. From the audience.
Speaking of the difference between white and black culture,
yes,
we have the urban myth or legend that Marilyn Manson got a rib removed.
So he could suck his own dick.
Yeah.
In the black community, isn't it LL Cool J?
No, it's LL Cool. That sidebar. There's two myths about the Marilyn Manson situation.
What's the other one?
Sidebar. I used to fucking kill Manson. Manson fucking kills. Classic. Nonetheless. What album was the Dope Show on? I don't know. Anyway,
for LL Cool J?
No. Dope Show is We're All Stars in the.
Oh
Dope Show.
yeah. Shit, that was the first one, man.
So there's
Mechanical Animals.
Yeah,
Mechanical Animals.
The rib thing, and I don't know if that's true or not. And two, was fucking the nerd kid with the glasses from the Wonder Years? Is that actually Marilyn?
No,
it's not.
That was a big rumor in the military, though. Like that, whenever you're deployed, there's all these weird rumors. That was one of them.
He's Fred. His name is Fred. I met him. Yeah. I actually auditioned for him. Okay. He's a huge television director.
Fred,
really?
he directed a lot of the episodes of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, actually.
Yep. He does a ton of shit for FX.
Fred Savage.
Yeah, so who's sucking their own dick in the black community then?
All of the transvestites.
Okay.
Wait, Kim, is that a word still yet? Or did
we don't care on this show.
Yeah.
I mean,
shit. You just said it.
Like those dudes / man, like, okay, in Philly, there was an area downtown since I was in high school called the Gayborhood. And this was like way.
Yeah, Ross actually walked into one of the bars over there.
I did actually. This is a true story.
He didn't know what it was.
No, somebody told me to meet them there, and I walk in the Gayborhood in Philadelphia.
Decent food.
Yeah, the food's always good in Gayborhood.
No,
and it was early, and I got there.
The food and the
I
cocktails.
saw the flags and everything else, and I was like, this is fun. And then, boom, right at 9 p.m., every gay dude came in there, and then he was waiting with a camera. And I was like, what you don't know is I sucked two dudes' dicks just for you. And I like, you can say it's a bit or whatever, but yeah, man, I'll suck off a dude if need be for the bit.
When in Rome.
Exactly.
Well, that would be more like when in Greece, I think.
When in Greece. Yeah, 300 BC.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think that those areas, one, definitely do have fucking better food and clothes. Because I used to go, before I knew what was the Gayborhood, went out, because it's not too far from like City Hall and all of that. I remember one of my homies, his name's Jim. His aunt was like, what were you doing down there? And I was like, yo, it's this food, and they got this shirt. And she was like, yo, you know that's like where all the gay people hang out. And I was like, nah. And she was like, yeah, because I would go down there to try to find clothes. At the time, there was a mall in Philly called the Gallery. And everybody from the hood would go to get their clothes from the Gallery, so everybody's wearing the same uniform. So I would just venture out to different places. But those folks down there have been weird or on some... Listen, freedom, they could do whatever they want. But they was on that type of vibe for a very fucking long time. But it was more of an oddity then than it is now. And I think the pendulum's swinging back. I think that the gay community, as I got homies that's gay, right? And
how gay though?
Like gay. Like, well, if you fuck other dudes, it's gay. Like,
is it though? Like, because it's sometimes it's dominant, sometimes it's being gay. Nah. Okay.
Nah. If you to me, if you bisexual, like, yo, I get it that you got a different moniker on the shit, but like, I can't tell my girl, like, yo, like my girl will be like, bro, you gay and I'm leaving you. If I tell her like, yo, I just like to get in, like, out the fundraising was going too slow. I got invited to a fucking Diddy party and I just like kissed the tip a little bit. My girl will fucking leave me. She's like, you're fucking gay, bro. Like, that's it. So I get that there's folks that say bi, and I'm not trying to be rude to them, but like those folks that are gay and bi, they have been kind of like, we didn't sign up for this other shit. We didn't, like, this is going too far. And so it was more of an oddity back then, but now it's just become like this false standard, or the cameras are on it, presenting it as if it's the standard. My gay homies are like, bro, stop talking any sex shit around these fucking babies. Like, my straight friend, there's the fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger, fucking Carl Weathers handshake meme there. Like, my straight friends and my gay friends are like, not talking shit, gay sex shit around children. And I just think that those are the areas that we have to find that common ground on and make sure that the messaging is right, you know, to make sure that we are finding and doing that, because there will be those people that are from leftist spaces or politically more left of center that we can go, nah, we have this common ground here, because the left and the extreme left has gone so fucking far. So,
yeah, and I mean, like they're out in public. A dude is jacking off on another dude's face, and like we can't have that in front of children.
No, they were like pissing on each other in wading pools. And shit like
Yeah,
Right.
they were doing that, and that's a little too far for me. So, by the way, now's the point in the show. Is an excellent fucking segue to the Drinkin' Bro of the Week, which is someone who has inspired you or helped you become the person you are today. Which black gay guy would you like to give that to?
I will give that to, he's missing, he's invisible right now. And I'm going to give him the shout because I don't have his number anymore. And he changed it, and he is very good at removing his digital footprint. He created a company called Tailored Defense Training Group. It's my guy, Akil Bey. He is a Green Beret. He's an Army Ranger. He is a sniper. He is now a paramedic, allegedly. Well, I know he was a paramedic, but allegedly, the last I heard of where he was at was in New Orleans. I've taken his survival course, and it was 1,000%, 72-hour survival course, very little sleep, very little fucking, I mean, y'all know it, procuring all of the fucking what you eat and what you drink, purifying the water with iodine tab, all of that shit, right? I've lost contact with him, and, he gets invisible from time to time. And I was, like a few days ago, reflecting on, as I'm building out my homestead, just reflecting on fucking rucking with a light ruck of 50 pounds for 20 fucking miles per day. During that time, operating at a sleep and caloric deficit for, and still getting it done. And how much of the bitch that was left of me was rooted out of me during that 72-hour survival course. So, if this comes across him, if you guys, he has very little digital footprint. It was his social media is gone. I'd like to give that to him today, because during those times when we were rucking and this, I had that celebrity moment, right, where I fucking hated land nav. Hate. And I choose my words very carefully. And, as you guys know, you plot the points wrong. Your starting point or your ending point is wrong. The map is to scale. You were fucking half a mile away from where the fuck you were supposed to be. And I hated the shit. And, I remember about 2 or 3 times on that survival course thinking, I literally had this bitch ass thought. I said, I'm famous. I'll always have a iPhone. I have navigation. I don't need to know land nav. I said that shit to myself. Like at that level of bitchery. Right. And so we had deep conversations about, and it was total bitch made in my view, because we had very serious conversations. He's like, bro, your past street life and the people that you've lost and this information that you're going to be like openly telling me, you need to make sure that people in the community he happens to be black, right? The people in the community that you're serving need to know this shit. And if you don't get through it, because you can quit, right? But they put the black hood on. We drive you up the fucking mountain. The area that we were teaching that he was doing this in was the owner of the land was the largest landowner in the state of Pennsylvania. So, like, yeah, you could quit, but nobody's fucking coming to bring you back. Like, you got to wait until our guy Mike comes to get you at a certain point, but whatever. But nonetheless, then everybody else has to fucking carry your ruck and all of this shit. But I remember and I was thinking about this a few days ago. He's like, man, the position that you're in, for a moment, I want you to think about the people that you might have been doing shit outside with that died. I have to think about the people that I served with that never fucking came home. That never fucking came home. And he wasn't trying to make me deal with my bitchery that way, but it forced me to.
No, and sometimes that's all you need is, somebody there or an inspirational quote or something like that. I remember one time I was reading this book and this woman, it said, sometimes it's okay just to be quiet. And that was Anne Frank. And I took a lot from that. So
Oh,
and she lived for a little longer because of that advice.
Yeah, but
and then the diary came out.
She had this. Her brother Jason wouldn't stop eating fucking potato chips, and that's actually where the saying "you can't just have one."
It was Frank.
No.
Yeah, it was Frank Squared is what they called him.
You can't just have one Lay's potato chips. That's where it came
kettle
from.
Chips, and they're very crunchy. And look, there's importance in everything that people say, Maj, and I think, Jesus said some great stuff too. He said, "You can't nail me on that charge." Jesus Christ. Yes, Jesus said that.
Holy shit.
Maj, it's been awesome having you today, dude. Big fan, and I love you, and thanks for filling out the quota this month so that way we don't look racist. And,
we're trying to get these numbers right.
We got to do one a month, and it's it's like the 22 push-ups for a lot of people. This is ours on our show.
I'm telling y'all, for fucking like July, Independence Day, like how like the whites are out with the barbecuing and shit.
The exciting whites, yeah.
I gotta get one of y'all on the live or both of y'all on the live to like hit my numbers. The DEI is working in reverse now. I don't know. Trump's like slash shit, so the 180's coming.
It is, and by the way, he can fucking barbecue like a motherfucker. So
you should just come here and we'll just barbecue.
Yeah, dude. He's on the ones and twos on the Traeger, and it's great.
I actually use RecTech and not Traeger.
Oh, you got RecTech now?
Yeah.
I still got the Traeger. Yeah, RecTech didn't do shit for me. So
they didn't do anything for me either. I bought it like a fucking American.
No, look, I don't do that. Okay, I'm famous. I get my girl sent to me.
I want to give a shout out to everybody. Listen, guys, it's a few things. One, I'll do the obligatory, like, here's where you can get the merch. Right?
I was just going to ask you, hey, I'm the host. You're the DJ. I'm the rapper. Yeah. I was going to say, where can everybody find you on social media? Where's that at?
Yeah, if you're on X, it's Maj Toure, MAJTOURE 999 on Twitter. I got kicked off of Twitter a while back for saying that if you're in my neighborhood reading sexual things to children in the library, I'm gonna assault you. I'll get arrested. I'll bail out, and if you do this shit again, I'm gonna come back because I don't give a fuck. So I was channeling like fucking Joe Pesci and fucking Goodfellas or Casino, I think.
I would have said Denzel Washington, Man on Fire, but that's
he literally said that in Casino. He said he'd split his head open and then go to jail.
Split your head open because I don't give a shit and I don't give a fuck, right? So I got kicked off. So the regular at Maj Toure, it was me, but that page is suspended. That's why I only have 40,000 followers again. So follow me there, Maj Toure 999. Instagram, Big Daddy Toure, BIGDADDYTOURE, because I've been kicked off of Instagram about 3 times. Follow the work you can subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Maj Toure. And please, guys, grab some merch. If you're not into donating to causes and paying it forward, donate, get some merch at blackgunsmatter.shop, right? If you want to donate, I would prefer, if you want to support our work, donate. If you donate over the $100 level, you get access to that Solutionary 9 group that I was talking about with a whole bunch of benefits to that. And the reason why I say $100 is because it's a big enough chunk that we can go, okay, we need 1,201, 1,200 $11,199, whatever, we can count down a lot better at $100 chunks. So donate there at givesendgo.com/solutionary. And those are the areas that you can find our work. Obviously, solutionaryuniversity.org for our classes and things like that. And lastly, I want to say this. We've joked, we've made fun of stuff, we've talked about serious topics here. But if you got something from this, great. We're glad that you have. But if you're going through some shit, bro, like a lot of vets commit suicide daily. Vets or just general regular civilians, right? If you're going through some shit, my email is majtoure@gmail.com. I don't give a fuck what time of day it is. Like, shoot me an email, and I'll probably in the email say, yo, bro, send me your number. Like, I am making myself available to you. I'll put you in a solutionary group, thousands of people as a support system. I would rather listen to whatever you're going through and help you if I can with that shit than like read your obituary. I don't know you. I've never met you, but somehow you're listening to this fucking show now and I happen to be on it. So if you're thinking about that shit, we're not going to judge you negatively. I'm just telling you, you have a set of ears in me that I respect you as an American and as a human. Please reach out to me. It's just my email,
Awesome.
and it's not a bot. It's me.
Awesome, man. Hey, we greatly appreciate it, man. It was fantastic having you on here. And if you want to follow me back, that's fine, because I'm going to follow you right after the show is over. It's Skinny Whites with Big Dicks, and that's on Twitter, Instagram, everything else. Like, it's just my handle. It's been that for years, and that was what my grandmother nicknamed me as a child. When she first bathed me at 2 years old. Appreciate you being here. For D'Anthony Holloway, I'm Ross Patterson. This is the Drinkin' Bros podcast. Good night, everyone.